Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. I got to calm myself down because I'm upstairs there and I'm around folks who don't care for the language that I speak sometimes on this podcast. So this is going to be the PG-13 version of What's Good America. My mama might be listening to this, but I don't care today. I'm still that edible, incredible, pseudo-sexual, mahogany chocolate, North Florida 904 representative C. Turner. Sorry, mama, but I am what I am. You raised me to be the man that I am. Sorry. Anyway, but that's who I am. This is the #1 podcast in Billings, Montana, in the state of Montana, in the Pacific Northwest, from two black dudes who are not even from Montana. Yeah, oddly specific, but that's what makes it true. And my right-hand man on my left-hand side, but he's still my left-hand man on my right-hand side, Mr. Saturday Night, Mr. Big Game James, Mr. I created the touchdown dance in indoor football. Don't at me, just look it up. James, Big Game, Madison, Walton III. What's going on with you, baby?
Hey, what's good, America? Yo, it's great to be back. It's been a week. I'm trying to think of something funny to say, man. I don't even really know, but just let it be known. I'm just gonna say it right now. I won my fantasy matchup. Okay.
Just putting that out there.
I'm just letting that be known off the bat. Let me just get that out the way. Everybody thought I was going to go over. Oh, yeah, I'm batting 500 right now. And the way it's looking, I might be tied for first in the division because some things is going on. I expect an update in the middle. So we might be talking about something. I might check the stat book, and I might just have to put somebody on blast because I'm playing them next week. But nonetheless, the other thing I want to talk about, because we ain't going to get to it, maybe it's going to be our show after this, but let's just say that we said some things in that first show that I'd like to apologize for. And I want to get this out the way. There's some things that we need to say I'm sorry for.
Go ahead.
I want to apologize to all of our basketball listeners for the comments that were made by James Walton saying that it was the Clippers' title to lose. Because obviously it was. They lost it. Let it be known, I am now riding with the team that Chris Turner would never, ever hear me say, but I am now a closet fan of this team forevermore. I am riding with the Miami Heat. And we'll touch on that, but I want to put that out there. I want to apologize also for being super bullish on Cleveland, even though they came back and won. I still do believe that division is going to be something to deal with. And that's really about I think I need to apologize for. I've apologized for Bryce Love numerous times. I will continue to do that. Bryce Love is still on my team. He's just on the bench. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for all of them running backs to get hurt. I'm going to put Bryce Love in. And I'm going to have to pay Chris Turner some money. It's not looking good for that bet we made. So it's not looking good. So with that out the way,
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
You apologized. And now I'm going to brag because that's kind of how this relationship works. Like you're the modest, humble one, and I'm the one who's Mr. Acme.
Well,
so first of all,
that's the point of this show, man. Like we're not going to be like these other guys. When we're wrong, we are going to admit that we're wrong, and I'm going to apologize. And there was a lot of points I made in that last show that when it came to the season starting, I missed a little bit. But I'm still good on certain things. But yeah, go ahead and get your brag.
But
man.
When we're right, we're gonna let you know when we're right.
Yeah.
So the whole Heat thing about being sleepers and they could possibly take it. What happened? Look who's in the Eastern Conference Finals right now.
Yeah, we did say the Miami Heat. So I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like me jumping on this bandwagon is like now. We said the only team that had a chance to get through Milwaukee, and Milwaukee did it for them. And look at Miami sitting 2-1, sitting pretty.
Yep.
I mean, it took Jimmy Butler to not play in the fourth quarter for nothing. But you know what? We're trying to keep this under an hour. Like, I know we're going to have to dedicate some show to Miami. But really, it's going to be the Jimmy Butler show because that's basically what it comes down to that.
Yep.
Respect my OG because I love me some Jimmy Butler. Jimmy G Buckets, the G stands for Gets. One of the great nicknames, Stacey King, when Jimmy was in Chicago. But, man, what's on your mind, man? Like, there's some stuff that's been going on in our pastime game of football and sports in general. There are some big things, man. What do you want to touch about first?
First and foremost, let me start off by saying in a very edited way, because my child and my wife are around, Florida State, you effed up. Let's just call a spade a spade. You let Deion Primetime Sanders, go to an HBCU, which even further lets us know we're right and like this change is kind of coming. But like I said, I'm not gonna pat us on the back the whole show, even though I could. You let your arguably, no, it's not even arguably. You let your greatest athlete.
He's the greatest one. He's the greatest alumni to ever come from that school. It's not even close. You let your greatest athlete go to Jackson State, and I have no problem with Jackson State University at all. I love HBCUs. I had some really good times at Jackson State University at Sigma parties and everything else. But you let Deion Primetime Sanders, number 2, Florida's own, go to Jackson State, where honestly I haven't seen the contract details and everything else, but I know for a fact whatever he's getting paid at Jackson State University is not even a third of what you gave the coach from Memphis who's now running the team now. So you mean to tell me you let Primetime go to Jackson State, you picked up the Memphis coach. Why? Because if it's a recruiting thing and this guy's such a great recruiter, so he's a better recruiter than Deion Sanders? Now, I'll never repeat this again, ever again. But LSU right now, LSU for a while has been DBU. But guess who your favorite DB's favorite DB is? Yeah. It's not even
Deion
close.
Sanders. So you mean to tell me you don't think Deion Sanders would have flipped over some of those top 3 or 4 cornerbacks in the nation? Like you gonna learn from the GOAT. Like you're going to learn from the dude who rewrote the book of how to be a corner, how to be a punt returner, how to be a kickoff returner, how to be a showboat, and your coach can't say nothing about it because like, well, he's an ass, but they won't throw to his side. Florida State, you messed up. You messed up. Go ahead, Walt.
Well, I'm just going to add on to it because when I saw it flash this morning, I was up, Chris, probably about 3:45 this morning, 4 o'clock, and I saw it flash through, because Eastern time, 7. And Chris hit me. He knew I was already at work. He hit me at about 7 o'clock his time when he woke up. He said, we talked about Deion. So shout out to Jackson State. I don't know if the athletic director's listening to the show. Maybe that's the case. But good for Jackson State and good for HBCUs.
Definitely.
Still haven't forgot about bringing my uncle on the show. That's kind of a great segue to bring him on in the next couple of weeks to talk about the HBCUs and, some of the things we don't know, but talk about that Deion Sanders move and what that really means, for the HBCU community. That means a lot.
That's big. That's so big.
Any former athlete and any player to get that type of caliber. And this is what I just don't understand. So I'm going to do something that I don't normally do. I'm going to praise Alabama here, and I'm going to praise Nick Saban. And I want to bring some parallels to you that maybe, Chris, you're aware of because you are an alum from there, a talented alum from that school. But correct me if I'm wrong. That's why I have you here. Nick Saban's position that he mainly coaches as a head coach and overseas, what position is that?
Defensive backs.
So Nick Saban, of course, has, obviously mastered the ways. I mean, Belichick's coaching staff, great years at Michigan State, average years at Miami could have been better. Parlayed that, at the LSU. So we're talking about Nick Saban, 30 years of head coaching experience at all levels. Okay, and I'm not trying to do that. So you're telling me the greatest DB to ever live, and he goes to your school, and once Jimbo left, it didn't go well. and this is not the first guy you call. Like, I don't understand. Okay, like, this is how it goes. There's a saying that us Northerners like to say when we come across our football brethren from the South, particularly from the state of Florida. There's something in that water in Florida. That's what we used to say when I was growing up, because it's just different. And Deion Sanders is as different as they come.
Exactly.
This guy was, in the history of the game, this guy was rated number 4, number 5 greatest character to ever lace up or be a part of the NFL. We're talking behind, certain names we're talking behind. It's like Parcells and name it. They're going to give these guys that kudos. But when it comes to it, Deion Sanders could have easily turned the tide. Chris hit it on the head. Like, some of the stuff I'm just repeating what he said. Deion Sanders being the head coach of your school, a kid automatically goes, I'm going to go play for him.
Exactly. So
Deion
let me tell you
Sanders,
this.
and then I'm going to kick it back to you.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Deion Sanders' mentality in 1989 is the same mentality that all these young rappers are rapping about. It's all like Deion Sanders style. So anything they talk about, whether it's mustard on the beat, saying put some ice on it. Like, these kids, Deion Sanders is revered, okay, in the culture. And not just our culture, but in the culture of sport. I know plenty of people, and I'm one of them. I used to wear headbands when I played around my neck. And you know who showed me the way? We used to call him White Chocolate. My boy Cole Cardes, man. That dude, he was cold, man. And his first name was Cole. So there you go. He was Cole and his first name was Cole. So he's the one that had me, doing that. My boy Nassim McKell, was another one that was showing me the Deion ways. Like, like, I always liked him as a player, but, I didn't pick up on the fashion stuff until I actually started to learn how to dress. That's back when I could dress in high school. I used to iron and shit. Your boy was rocking Nautica, with the matching Air Forces, hey, I was smooth, boy. Hairline wasn't receding, had the waves going, the fade looked a little bit like the hairline was like down here. You know what I'm saying? But dude, I want to kick it back to you, man, because this hurts, because you're not only that, you're a northern Floridian, okay, on top of that. So Florida State really, by default, is your school.
So here's the thing. In Florida, like, there's a couple guys who, because Florida's one big, honestly, it's growing a little bit with basketball a little bit, and baseball is always going to be quietly the king. But football runs the state of Florida. But growing up in Florida, like, you hear about guys, and like, you hear about them so much, it becomes a myth of their abilities. There's three. No particular order, but we know who number one is. There's Warren Sapp, who used to run with DBs in high school and could outrun DBs as a defensive end, defensive tackle. There's Emmitt Smith, and all these guys from around like the same area, who would pull trucks in the summer to get ready for the football season. But then there was Deion Sanders, who I want to say, like, he almost superseded football. Like, it was, you knew he played football, but Deion could also go out and hit like 20 home runs. And then Deion was a track star who broke all the FHSAA track star stuff. It's Deion. Like, Deion was the reason why I had a small gold chain, and I would play with it during the game until my coach caught me with it, having it on. Like, Deion was the reason why I used to wear like a Reebok sweatsuit, and then when he switched over to Nike, guess what I switched over to? Nike. So, like, Deion was the reason for the season, honestly. And he could let him go.
And he could hoop, too. Deion.
He could hoop.
Deion got buckets. I mean, to me, I'm not from there, so, I mean, I don't think my opinion is valid. But Deion Sanders is the greatest athlete to ever come out of the state of Florida. And Deion Sanders, in my opinion,
hit it right on the head, dude. He's not the greatest football. He's the greatest athlete. Thank you, love. Thank you very much. right.
Shout out to one of the first ladies. I see you.
She didn't know which one I wanted, so she made me both.
Oh, let's go. She's like, yeah, I'm getting this in today because tomorrow.
So because you said that, shout out to the wife who's turns 30-something tomorrow. I'm not stupid.
Ooh, I heard she was turning 23. Ours, happy 23rd birthday.
So yeah, happy 23rd birthday to the wife. Love you and appreciate you. We're gonna have a fantastic day tomorrow. I might try to get this out by tomorrow. So there we go. So all that being said, hold on.
Well, come on in. Come on in.
Hi.
It's the legend. I heard you're ready. I heard you're ready for your show, Zozo.
I am.
So we got to put you on, huh?
Yeah, but someone won't let me on.
You think he's afraid of you? You think he's afraid that it's going to turn into the Zozo and Williams J show?
Yes.
I didn't bash you too bad.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
But listen, let's go ahead, man. I'm going to stand on it right now. That's our first stand on it moment of this show. You know what I'm saying? On everything I love.
On my mama.
On my mama. Deion Sanders will be the head coach of Florida State within the next 3 years. Now that this has happened.
Can I switch it? Can I make it worse?
Go for it.
On my mama. Deion Sanders will be the next head coach of the Miami Hurricanes in the next 3 to 5 years.
No chance. There's no way. There's no way they would disrespect. They would not disrespect Ed like that. I think that's Ed's job whenever he's ready. I think Ed Reed is grooming himself to be that. And now you talk about a recruiting war because he's the greatest safety to ever play the game. So that would be one hell of a.
And maybe I never closed it.
That would put the rivalry back. Could you see Ed Reed coaching Miami and Deion Sanders coaching Florida State?
Oh, dude, that would honestly do two things. It would make the Florida Gators go grab somebody, Emmitt Smith, somebody.
Go ahead. You know I'm on to something.
We're speaking hypothetically, but if the Canes grab Ed Reed, Florida State gets Deion, I have not a doubt in my mind somehow, some way, Tim Tebow will end up being some kind of coach at the University of Florida.
That's the name. Because you got to look at Florida's history. They have a lot of really good players that have played there. You know, like guys that get swept under the rug, you know, the Fred Taylors of the world. Obviously, Emmitt's not swept under the rug because Emmitt's a GOAT. But, you know, they've had those type of guys. But that the name that transcends them is Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's just got the name, and he's got the ability to lead men. And that's what I see. You know, it's three different types of leadership. Ed Reed's a hard ass.
Yep.
Ed Reed mic'd up stuff is some of the best stuff you'll ever see. Deion Sanders is the swag coach.
Yep.
He's the one that lifts you up. He's gonna get on you because he's prime time, but he knows he can get it out of you. And then Tim Tebow is just the inspirational coach. He's the one that's gonna give you that speech and fire you up. Like, we could all play for Tim Tebow, but
yeah.
So I would double down on that. I would say not only will Deion be the coach, but if they do that, then Miami knows it's time. It's time. They got to go get Ed Reed. They won't hire Deion. They will not do that to their alumni. Like Michael and them, they love Deion, but they would.
And that's the thing. I honestly feel like they would, if one of them didn't want it, they would sign off him. That's just honestly how, like, if they didn't want it, they would sign off on him.
No. Listen, I'm telling you. They love and respect him. You know what that burgundy and that gold means to them guys. They can't. I mean, it's not as high as Notre Dame hate.
No,
but
nothing's
it's
that
right
high.
there. So, I'm telling you, that's what you'll see. And for us, we want that.
Yeah.
We want to see our, it's time to see your great players become the guys that can pass the torch. It doesn't happen a lot in sport. The only great player I've ever seen be successful as a coach in any sport is Larry Bird. He's the only guy I've ever seen do it. Larry Bird took a team to the finals. So that's all I know. Like it's hard for great players to do it. Magic coached for 19 games and then went his TV show, and they got his TV show canceled. And then came out of retirement. In 2 years, he coached, had a TV show, and came out of retirement. It's hard.
It's the hardest thing to do, to go from being a star athlete to coaching. There's a reason why Mike never did it. Like it's quite possibly the hardest thing to do. But let me lead you into this next one. And I know this one's near and dear to you. DeChambeau.
Listen, man, I was actually thinking about that in the car. And I thought about Dallas. And I feel like that we got to have Dallas come on at some point. So, we can give him some credit. And honestly, for us being two very, very African-American males that can speak clearly, I have to remind our listeners, even though there's cameras on us now, I still think some of our listeners are like, nah, that ain't him, man. Like, he's a different dude. It's just like a voiceover. That dude don't, that's not really his mouth. But I didn't watch one hole of the U.S. Open, Chris. We had great guests in town. I want to shout out Matt and Sin. They came in town. We had a ball out here, man. I didn't watch a hole, but I bet it went something like this. DeChambeau off the tee. Kaplow! Hitting it farther than all the rough that everybody else was struggling with. He was like, I'm going to get to this little soft stuff. Chip up putt. I bet he did that for 72 holes. And this is what it comes down to.
And I watched every last hole, and you pretty much told what he did, because everybody was struggling with the fairway and everything else. No, like even when he missed the fairway, he still bombed it down so far, it was a chip back into the green.
Yeah. So like he was like, that's what he said at the PGA. He said, I'm just going to hit it farther than everybody, and I'll take my chances. So it's a new listen. Like this is the truth of the matter, and I've been saying this for years in my household, and it's a credit to seeing DeChambeau and what he has turned himself into. It's Brooks Koepka as well, who gets a lot of credit with his ability to hit the ball long, and of course the great Tiger Woods. My kid's gonna play golf. If he gets any of this 6'3", 6'4", I got plenty of guys that can put weight on him. And then I got another guy that can make sure that weight can transfer into fluid motion with a swing. And you're going to hit this golf ball 395 yards.
Easily.
Hey, it's going to be like this. Hey, son, how would you like to be able to find a way to make $9 million in 4 days? How does that sound? Would that sound pretty good?
Sounds good to me.
Let's just go out here. Let's look into the fact that shout out to my brother-in-law, Ryan Troxel, who also styles me on the golf course. I look a lot better on the golf course thanks to my brother-in-law. When you got a golf pro in the family, Chris, what am I going to do? I'm not going to sit him here and have him, do like, go to those remember the little summer sessions at the elementary schools that you used to do, 6 or 7 for 6 weeks? Or am I going to fly him up to Bozeman and go hang out with your Uncle Ryan and go work on your damn swing?
Yeah.
And if I hear you lipping back to him, I'll fly up here for a day and I'll whoop your ass. That's what Bryson DeChambeau means to me. Here's a guy that looks like he flat out. He's probably as big as Rob Gronkowski is right now.
Yeah, easily.
And look how fun he's making golf for big guys. This guy is like long, like the long drive guys. but he's got the technique and the ability to put it all together when he has to. So that's what DeChambeau means to me. And I told you, as long as we have DeChambeau winning majors, Kapka's going to be around. It gives guys like you and I an opportunity to go, because our guys going to the senior tour at some point.
Yep.
But the way he hits the ball, it'll never be Tiger at its height when we're talking ratings. But you'll tune in to watch if he's going to break another driver, because that was incredible. This driver, that was insane. So the floor is yours.
Dude.
The floor is yours to talk about the reigning U.S. Open champion.
Dude, it's crazy because first time y'all brought him up, I heard about him a little bit, saw like this bigger guy or whatever. Then I started watching. And like he put on 50 pounds between last year and this year. And you can tell when somebody's like juicing to get 50 pounds and then somebody puts on natural. Like he's proportionate, like it all looks good. Like it's a real good look. And I was watching one of the ESPN shows today, and the guy was like, man, I guess golf's now out the window after hundreds of years of doing it their way. I guess if you work out, eat right, put on a little bit of muscle, you can dominate a sport just like every other sport. And it's a shame that like golfers did not believe that. Like it was all about the sweet science and this, that, and the third. But what happens when you add pure athletic ability, the science of the game, and then a shit ton of muscle? You got the Hulk with Iron Man's brains that can just kill the game. Like if he gets with somebody who can really perfect his short game, it's going to be a problem.
You just basically described who he is. He's Smart Hulk in The Last Avenger. That's who he is.
Professor Hulk. Yep.
That's who he is.
That's what he is. It's crazy, dude.
He's the guy that can handle the Infinity Stones and snapped everybody back. That's who he is in golf. And
it's
crazy. You know what? And to me, there is a sweet science about it. And I mentioned this on the last show because this is the things that I do know about DeChambeau that I knew about him before. He's very meticulous.
Yep.
How he played the game before this 50 pounds. He's the guy that people were complaining about taking too long to analyze shots, angles, how to do. He was that guy. And I said this, and this is why I love, now I'm going to get on my shit a little bit and talk about myself, because
please do.
It's all about listening to certain things when it's time to bring stuff up, when you have great guests bring topics up. Brooks Koepka shitted on this dude without saying his name. Well, we got guys holding up play, it's distracting, blah, blah, blah. He was talking about DeChambeau before the 50 pounds, and Brooks Koepka was hitting the ball further than anybody at that point. He was basically doing what DeChambeau's doing now. He's hitting
right.
355. He's chipping up. He's got a good putter. And that's how he won all those majors. The same thing Tiger was doing. Like I said, it all comes back to Tiger Woods at the end of the day. So Bryson looked at him and said, okay, you going to talk bad about me? I'm going to do what you do. And now you got to deal with me. You know what I'm saying? That's basic hood ethics. That's how a lot of us grew up, America.
Yep.
All right, so you do that. So I'm gonna find a way to do what you do, and I'm gonna do it better. That's what drove me to want to dunk a basketball. I used to watch guys do that, and I'm like, I'm gonna do something better than you. And this is not a lie. By the time I was a junior in high school, I was 6'1.5", and I could put a ball between my legs, East Bay funk dunk. The truth. Like, I'm not making that up. I had a 41-inch vertical at 160 pounds because all I did was do calf raises. I didn't get no squats. I learned how to get some muscle and my vertical went down, Chris. Nike camp, Champaign, Illinois, 2000, 41.5 on the infrared. It's measured, highest vertical. And Larry Fitzgerald was in that camp. So suck it, America. I'm just playing, America. I love you. But it's it's scary. It's like Dr. Frankenstein turned himself into the Frankenstein monster, but kept all of his brains together. That's who
Yeah.
DeChambeau is. He's going to be a problem, and he's young. Kapka's young. Golf's in good hands. DJ winning the tour champ. Like, it's in good hands, man. Like, you got some guys, that can really, do some great things on a course. And I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Shout out to DJ because, he married Baby Gretzky. I got to give that to him. I know both our wives are listening, but Baby Gretzky's cold. I'm just calling a spade a spade.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
I think Arist and Callie would leave us both for Baby Gretzky. That's how.
That's not even a second thought.
We might have to just give this a shot. Like, I don't know. We love you both, but yeah. But anyway,
not even a second thought. Not even a second thought.
I'll get in trouble for that for later. But no, it's amazing to see. You had a young kid win the PGA Championship. You had this happen. We've had Tiger win the Masters in the last year. Kapka, like it's on. Like, I think there's an opportunity for parents like us. I've already been committed to it. My kid's not going to see a blade of grass unless he can throw the hell out of a football or kick the hell out of a football. You're playing golf in the fall and the winter and the spring because we're going to live in a southern state. That's just you have no choice, son. I don't care how gifted you are with a basketball. Okay, I'll give you baseball. Okay, you can hit a baseball.
Yeah.
We can go that way too.
No salary cap.
You will swing a golf club. Because you either getting $442 guaranteed, or I'm gonna find a way to get you $4 million every weekend you play.
Goddamn right. So with all that being said, big shouts out to DeChambeau, dudes. You are taking the game to another level that it's evolving to, and God, dudes like us appreciate it. So I will shout out that.
It almost makes you want to work out again and turn this 230 into like the muscular, like bench press 225 17 to 20 times. And then
just go out there and crush it.
Almost does. But go ahead, man.
Here comes, because we've been doing a lot of agreeing over the last couple of shows. Here comes the disagreeing. Here comes the debate. Here comes when the shit hits the fan. Well, we needed a preseason. 2 games, 3 games. This 7-on-7 flag football shit during camp is not paying off. Don't get me wrong. I've watched multiple games. I have enjoyed it. But with the amount of injuries that you got going on, with the injuries is the biggest thing that bothers me, because you weren't allowed to practice the way you wanted to, because you had to wait a week and a half, 2 weeks until you could put pads on, and even then you had to hit a certain way and everything else. And then Corona plays a role into this too, because you couldn't do a bunch of stuff because of Corona. But for talent evaluation, to get a feel of the game, bare minimum, you needed 2 preseason games. Just 2. I don't care if it's one where the starters play 1 quarter this game and then 2 the next. But look at teams like the 49ers. Like, they are damn near depleted because of injury. Injury that probably could have been avoided if practices was a little bit harder and you had a little bit more time to get ready with preseason games. Like, there are a lot of big name guys who kind of ruined fantasy football this year because Saquon Barkley is now done for the year. Maybe that would have been avoided if he had a little bit more time to prepare for the games and had a couple of games to kind of warm up before it's in the full hustle and bustle of the season. Christian McCaffrey, he went down for a little while during that last game. Maybe that could have been avoided. Like, I think the rule change and everything else, and like tonight with how Emmanuel Sanders got the blunts. I didn't know you couldn't crack back people anymore. He got a 15-yarder on that, and like he barely touched the guy. All I'm saying is it comes down to 2 games, preseason, make practice or make camp a little bit longer since you're going to go this powder puff way of doing camp. But there needed to be a preseason. And this isn't me, the fan, speaking. This is me, like the football defensive lineman speaking. You needed a preseason. Go ahead.
But here's my thing, though. There's a reason why there's no preseason. So, to me, your point is mute. It just is. Like, you really have to kind of think about this. Why are things the way they are in the preseason and how it is? Who has made things this way?
Yeah.
It's the same guys you defended. It's the same guys that wanted this. Their preference was to get hurt in the regular season. Their preference was to get hurt with live action. That's the way that they want to do it now, Chris. It's a different generation of player. Okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not that much different. Because let's call a spade a spade. Second time it's been used in this show. We didn't like practice either.
Mm-mm.
Only difference was because we legitimately had to practice 2 times. We're the last of that era. You know what I'm saying? We've got uncles and, you know, that obviously we're doing 3 days, like for real, like Remember the Titans type shit. So
Junction boys.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all of them that really paved the way. But Chris and I are the last of the other 2 days generation because right in the middle of our careers, that's when they switched up to 1 full practice and 1 walkthrough practice in the NCAA. It was mandated, I think, in 2005, which was my redshirt senior year. So by then we were looking around like, yo, what are we doing? We're just running with no ball. Like, what is this doing? You know, if anything, we could take this hour and a half off our legs. So see, we were already thinking that way. You just busted us for 3 hours and we lifted. We like, if we're going to do a walkthrough, let's do a walkthrough and talk about stuff. But we're going to run full speed. Like, what's the point of me running full speed at somebody and I'm working a move and the ball doesn't come on receiver? Like, do I even know if I was open? Like, how am I supposed to know? I'm always open if there's no ball. Like, oh, you want to get me? Dude, you ran a 1-step hitch. I was open. So I think a lot of this, honestly, it's what the players wanted because the owners were going to push them. Like, I want you to think about it this way. The owners, no matter what, were pushing that they were going to play more games.
Yeah.
So if you add now the 17th game and you still had the 4 preseason games, like, what is it that we're really doing here? So to defend the players, I understand why they didn't want any of that. You know, maybe what you do in the future or whatever happens once Corona's over, maybe it's just having more of those opportunities to tune up against each other. You know, inter-squad scrimmages. But, Chris, the game is softer. They train different than us. You know, these injuries, I think, happen because, you know, maybe we were training the wrong way. I don't know. But I tell you right now, I've had a lot of injuries. Never blew out my knee.
No.
Separated some shoulders here and there. You know, I think I might have tore an LCL in 2011 when I played you in when you were in Omaha. Yeah. Tough. I think I tore my LCL, but you know, I still got a touchdown in that game. So you know, that's how dope I am on one leg, and painkillers and a beer. So it's a Chris. I mean, I understand it, man. I hear it. And I agree, but these guys, they don't want to practice. Like, I can understand it. I didn't learn to love practice until I got out of college.
Yeah.
Once I got to playing against guys that were playing at all these schools that I didn't play, and I wanted to see really measure, like, all right, well, who's got the best work ethic on this team? Because that's something I was always criticized from, even my own teammates, which I knew was a lie. because I'm the only dude there that didn't graduate. All my friends. So obviously my work ethic on the field, whether it came from the weight room, practice, or in film, was better than all of them because I was willing not to graduate. That's how much it meant to me. So I'm just throwing that out there. Shout out to my boys. Still love them. But I had to deal with the criticism of I don't work hard enough. He's just gifted. So I came to love practice. And then by the time we were all together in '09, and you had all this collection of NFL guys and Alabama guys, and everybody's been this way. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to go to practice. It was probably the only time I liked doing one-on-ones was that year.
Yeah, because it was different.
Yeah, just because I had a ball with those, because I was like, okay, I'm learning. It's new. You know, by 2010, I was like, this does nothing for me. Like everybody else, let me go run some stuff with Tough Johnson so I can make sure that I know I'm open and I'm good to go. I do 2 or 3 against him, and then let's get the team so we can work on some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I had my measuring stick, you know. You know, it's not too many times you meet the version of you that's better than you in a back pedal. So, you know, hey, like, I do want to practice against that guy, but, you know, we're going to take it easy on each other because we pros.
Exactly. You know? And maybe, I think you maybe hit it right on the head. Like, okay, so we're going to the 17th game. Okay, fine, whatever. You don't want to do a preseason. Okay, fine, whatever. Then you need the inner squad scrimmages and all that. Call the Rams and the Chargers play each other, whatever. Like scrimmage against each other, but like you need something because even in college football, if you look at it, you had the spring game that gave you something, and mind you, you couldn't hit the quarterback. Sorry, Brody Croyle, but you couldn't hit the quarterback, but you could go full on.
Brody Croyle.
But you could go full on man to man, and just it was a game all by itself. And then fall camp was a bitch. But it's all out 2-3 hours at a time. I think the NCAA had like the 25-hour rule or whatever it was, 25 hours a week you could practice. Whatever it was, but like you were going. Take a look at Hard Knocks. Look at the last couple of years. How hard does that seem? Like, how intense does this seem? And I get it, you're going against your own guys and you can't hit Jared Goff and Cooper Kupp. You can't hit these guys. I get that. But outside of one-on-ones, and mainly one-on-ones for the receivers, because what I watched was the one-on-ones for the O-line, D-line, and it was almost like some three-step stuff, and 3 steps, and it was done. So there needs to be inter-squad scrimmages. There need to be 2 preseason games. There needs to be something to have more competition so that the 49ers are just about depleted. Like you have a team where there's $1 million guys who can't play because maybe it was a knick-knack injury, maybe it was their body wasn't ready for the contact, but you have a couple of guys on that team who, well, you won't see them until next year.
I mean, though, like, I get it. I heard some of that. The feedback has been, quote-unquote, the turf at the Meadowlands. But, you know, it's interesting. The Giants and the Steelers played on that, and nobody got hurt. So I watched that whole game. So I know that. You know, Saquon didn't get hurt till he went to the Bears turf. And I can understand that because that's one of the last – No. I'm talking about the turf, Chris, not about the fact that we're 2-0.
Just slip that right in.
Just the fact that it's a grass field in Chicago. You know? So grass and turf are different. Like nobody really – I mean, like if you're on turf, and you go to grass and you get – maybe you stuck and your cleats ain't quite it, or, you know, I mean, you've got too high, you know, too long of a cleat, or maybe you're just trying to wear those turf shits, the little small ones, or everybody thinks they're super athlete. Like, dude, it's different. Like, that was what was crazy to me. Like, let me ask you this. When we played in 10, were you wearing cleats or were you wearing turf shoes?
So when we went to, like, the
When we won the title,
Sportsplex.
when we won the title of Sportsplex, were you wearing?
Cleats.
Yeah, see, I was in cleats.
Yeah,
Right.
because it's great. To me, it was grass. So I'm not wearing like the Jordans that I was wearing for the fucking turf field. Like this is very close to grass. I need something to dig in with.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, that could be the things happening. Like it could be technology a shoe, and with some of these guys. Well, I need to put this shoe on because that's my sponsor. Like there's a lot to this, man. The bottom line is, you were going to get these injuries one way or another. If I was a player, I would rather go out on my sword, helping my team trying to win a game when it mattered. You know what I mean? Like I could look back if I'm Nick Bosa, like, dude, I was going hard trying to get something and my knee went. I'm Saquon. I tried to get the extra yard and, my knee went. For it to happen in week 2 or week 3 of preseason when nothing's on the line, what is a travesty to me. And I've seen it happen too many times.
Here's my argument. Here's my argument to that. The 2 names you brought up, Joey Bosa and Saquon, falling on the sword aside, you're going to get paid regardless. What about this cornerback from the University of Missouri who got picked up free agency round and he ain't getting as many reps because, well, you got Derwin James in front of you and so-and-so in front of you, and you got to rely on special teams, but you're only doing special teams in practice, and you're not getting as many – you get like 8 or 9 reps per practice.
How many special teams injuries did you see?
1.
In 2 weeks?
I saw 1.
So these injuries, because they basically have taken special teams out of the game anyway, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys have nothing to worry about. All they have to do is fill their lanes and do what they have to do. Like you just mentioned, Emmanuel Sanders. I didn't even see the block, but I saw one that Tyler Lockett threw on Sunday Night Football, which was the block that receivers love to throw. It's just be, head in front of the shoulders.
Exactly.
Catch a guy because, the infamous look out block, just so his head would turn around. Look out. Wow.
Bam.
It's a different game, dude. It's pity pat. It's soft.
Yeah.
As my old coach would say, and excuse my language, parents and Aris and Zoe's alike, but he had a saying that is soft and pussy-like because that's what the game is now. It just is.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm talking soft like a kitten head. I ain't talking like the other, like y'all. They don't get it twisted. My mom listens to the show. I'm talking like a pussy cat. As in, like, Garfield the cat. I ain't. If I had a little Screwball, shout out to Screwball, our unofficial sponsor, soon to be.
Screwball, we love you. We love you, Screwball. Just so you know that we do love you.
Keep tagging you in here, but I ain't going that far. But it is, man. It's a soft ass game, CT, and it's okay. It's okay because that's what they want. They want to be able to smoke weed and just go to practice. Because they don't get paid to go to practice, Chris. They get paid to play in games. That's the way the NFL works. Because they don't know that they're not doing what they need to do for themselves. If their money was guaranteed, I guarantee you they'd practice harder. I guarantee you things would be different. If I was a player, why would I want to sacrifice myself in preseason games and something happens and I got to go hard against this guy that's trying to make this team, but I'm a 3-time Pro Bowler, you know what I'm saying, going in my contract year. Look at George Kittle. At least he got paid before he went down.
True.
So I'm telling you right now, I think what you're seeing is maybe what you're going to see is maybe the teams that actually did some different things in their practices. And maybe that's the case. And to the Niners' defense, because I live out here, they've been dealing with circumstances no other team in the league is dealing with the air quality, with, obviously, we just got to stage 2 in this county.
Jesus. Really?
Yeah. We just got to stage 2 like 2 weeks ago. So understand like what's going on here. So some of their stuff's validated. So yeah, newsflash for all the Niners fans out there that are butthurt. Your team's doing the best they can. We just saw the sky on Thursday. It's the first time I saw the sky in a month and a half. I'm serious. Everybody should go watch the movie. I keep bringing up Constantine. Go watch the movie Constantine. First of all, Keanu Reeves is in it. And now you can do like anything Keanu Reeves has done is just dope now because Keanu Reeves is the MF-er now. You know what I'm saying? Look at me censoring that F-bomb. That was for you, Mike. Go watch the scene when he goes to hell. That's what our sky looked like. And it smelt like it too for a month and a half. So there's a like that. I hear what you're saying. Like, I like the preseason. Honestly, I like the preseason back when, I thought I had a chance to be a part of one. Ever since I didn't, I even kissed my ass in preseason. Like, I'm in here invested in these guys to make plays. There's 15 of y'all that I'm gonna count on. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't one of those overzealous dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what the F? How you do? Like, I'm gonna make a point of that. As a fantasy football fanatic that I am and love the game, I'm gonna make this known to not only people in my league, but other leagues I'm in. Don't be blaming players that don't score you points. That's not how the game works. All you can hope for is the right play call. And all you can hope for is if the ball hits them in the hands or if they get the carry, that they don't fumble it on their own. That's when you can get mad. You should hold on to the ball. If it hits you in the hands, you know what? I need you to hold on to that. Outside of that, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good time for me to drop my first F-bomb. You know what I'm saying? I want to touch on this with these injuries and shit. My league's been very good. Guys are just, because it's some of their, like, I got a bunch of Niners fans, and they're just crestfallen because their team is hurt. And they've been very good about it. So I'll shout out Ebron, Boji, and T. Brown. But to all those out here to go, I can't believe all this. See, I think that's what you're accidentally perpetuating, Chris, is, this and that. No. This is what was decided on by the league and by the players. If the league's fault for wanting to extend the season beyond 16 games, it's the players' fault for not advocating to do the things they need to do to make sure that they're taken care of. So it's everybody's fault. It's just like America in general. It's everybody's fault. Nobody wants to step up and do the right thing.
Leave that alone because that is my give me a minute.
Well, I guess it's time for me to just go right into it then.
Frankie, you want to go first? You want to go second?
I mean, I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna let you. I think you're going a certain place, but I'm gonna go first, and it's gonna be completely off topic from everything we've talked about. So let me do as I normally do. First of all, my last beer, with the orange juice, celebrating the victory. Damn, it tastes like a win. And of course, we've got to shout out the sponsor, Screwball, once again, as I get into
Screwball.
So, America, damn, that was a good. I need another one. That was good, Chris. That was good. Hold on. America, give me a minute. You know how, Chris, like on, because I'm not over here trying to do that, but on, what's the show with Charlemagne the God and Angela Yee? How they have like the donkey of the day?
Yeah, Hot 109 or something. Something like that.
Yeah, their show. You know what I'm saying? Like, this feels like one of those moments, and I'm pretty sure that they've already blitzed them, but I'm gonna do it on our show because of the blasphemy that came out of somebody I respect and hold near and dear to my heart. Swiss Beats had the audacity to say that Janet Jackson did not have enough hits to do a versus battle with Missy Elliott. Look here, America. Okay, like, I get it. We're really in our sports centric shit right now. Like, I know the off season, that's where we should be more into this. But
you can hear my heart.
I mean, and what did that song become? It's just like poetic justice. Poetic. So understand what I'm saying? America. Swiss Beats, okay, is a legend. He's a GOAT. He has had some of the greatest beats of all time. He started these versus battles with him and Timbaland, and I respect him for that because he lost his battle. I didn't listen to it, but it's Timbaland. You lost. Because Timbaland's catalog is like
Massive.
stupid.
Massive.
Like Timbaland needed to go against Quincy Jones of the Neptunes. Like that's what
Yeah.
Timbaland's at.
Like Barry Gordy almost. Like Timbaland is up there.
Timbaland's in that category in what he's done in the last 30 years. But to say out of your mouth that Janet Jackson does not have like Black Twitter went nuts. As they should have. I was reading this shit. I said, "You have got to." It was Sunday. It was this Sunday. That's why I was like, "Dude, we got to get on the air. We got to get on the air Monday." But I was like, "Dude, Janet Jackson doesn't have enough hits."
Bullshit.
Like, I want to just keep reiterating that because I want this to trend even more. All 5 of our listeners that listen to us. This some bitch said. Janet Jackson does not have the hits to compete with Missy Elliott. Now, Missy Elliott, who, in my opinion, is the GOAT female rapper of all time.
Yeah, I can see that.
In my opinion. Now, she doesn't have the lyricism of a Latifah or a Moni Love. She doesn't have the presence or the WTF of a Foxy Brown or a Lil' Kim.
Right.
You know, she doesn't have, even that kind of street savvy lyricism like an Eve when Eve was doing her thing. Eve quietly, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Remy Ma, street, like lyricist, raw digger, lyric. But Missy Elliott from head to toe is one of the few I know that can produce her own beat, give you some crazy lyrics that she'll still be. I mean, who doesn't still go when they see a Jeep? Beep, beep. Who got the
keys to my Jeep?
I'm driving to the beach. Top down, loud sounds, see my peeps. Look now, look who it be. It be me, and Timothy. Oh, wait, and then the best lyric in that song is so like, but I feel the wind. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
9, 10.
Begin. I sit on hills like Lauren until the rain starts coming down, pouring. This is Missy Elliott. The Rain is one of the 50 coolest rap songs ever made. That's one of the dopest samples. That's Timbaland and Missy in their prime. Okay, this is who Missy Elliott is, and she had a bunch of those. But Janet Jackson has a 30-year catalog of #1 songs.
Yeah.
Like Janet Jackson, I swear, and let me just go ahead and say it, all right? And I hope he's not mad at me because I'm trying to invite him to the wedding, Chris, because, he ain't that far away. Timberlake, I love him like I do. And I understood the backlash, and for perfect reasons. People act like ever since the titty came out, like Janet Jackson. Let's call it what it is. Janet Jackson had like a #1 hit that year. She was still dropping #1 hits in the 2000s.
Yep.
And Justin's I Bet You I Have You Naked by the end of this song, and that titty came out, and it was a rap. So let's just remember, do I respect Swiss Beats? Do I think Swiss Beats is somebody that I could take a master's class from? Absolutely 100%. But the fact that I haven't seen an apology from Swiss Beats or heard that posted damages his credibility. Janet Jackson, I want you to know that when James Madison Walton Jr. holds you in such high levels that when he gave me his MacBook, he had every single one of your albums downloaded to iTunes.
That's crazy.
And I'm pretty sure he paid for them shits. Because my dad, hey, my dad is an upstanding citizen. He might have burned them. Maybe he had the CDs. I don't know. But I would not be surprised. Back when you was buying iTunes and shit, I know for a fact Pops had every album, and I was so grateful to get that gifted MacBook because I could just go back to, the Control album. The Rhythm Nation album in itself had like 5 #1 hits.
I think it was more than that.
Just itself. And, but don't worry, but according to Swiss Beats, she didn't have a #1 hits. I mean, come on, man. How many samples have we heard? Come on, man. Back to doo-doo. Your boy's biggest hit. Who is one of your favorite rappers from Florida that you always be like, man, you need to get up on this dude?
Dude,
He's not as big as now. Just name some rappers. Who was your guy like?
Trick Daddy, Plies, Rick Ross.
Stop there. Plies. Remember I used to always be like, what? Come on, man. And what's Plies' biggest hit? The do 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 do.
Oh God.
Do bust it. Bust it. Baby. America. That's Janet Jackson.
Yep.
My point's been made. What's good, America? Man, I'm sorry. I got goosebumps, Chris. I just hit it. That was so dope. I just dropped.
Dude, I'm about to go. I'm about to download every Janet Jackson album on iTunes right now and just play it until I go to sleep.
If you got Spotify, whatever you got, Pandora, go pay her some respect. Janet Jackson that's what it is. See, I had to give up R. Kelly, and Janet Jackson's not getting her respect. And Janet didn't do nothing to nobody.
Nobody.
Lil' Kim had her titty out at the VMAs back in '99.
Yep. You ain't lying.
Okay. And you know what? Let me stop. Because every time I say something here, I think I lose another 100 fans for us.
All right, America.
Tired of being right.
Whatever James didn't lose for us with fans, I'm about to kill the rest of you. America, give me a couple minutes. I usually don't pay attention to social media. I'm one of those folks who uses social media just for the show and to post ignorance, which our show is ignorance, but it's comedy at the best.
Calculated ignorance.
Yeah, calculated ignorance. So I usually don't pay attention to social media. But there was a lady who is, not to get myself in trouble, she's related. And I'll leave it at that. She had a post that said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, all you gifted athletes out there, all you spoiled, rotten athletes, while you were going to college getting it paid for, your friend was paying for school and working a part-time job. While you were going to practice and eating free lunches, your friend was going to work and paying for their own food. While you were enjoying the fruits of the Nike contracts and everything else that the school was getting, your friend was having to purchase all this stuff. While you were celebrating the draft and getting picked up by this team and getting millions of dollars, your friend had to go start their career working for like minimum wage to build himself up. So essentially what it came down to is some shut up and dribble type shit. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to get into who this person was because it's not worth the argument. Let me break down to you an athlete in college, because I feel like this shit is totally fucking misconstrued about how gifted and how many gifts we get. Everything I got in college, illegal or legal, I fucking earned. So, this whole conversation, your friend was out there working. Well, did your friend have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to weights and get yelled at for 2 hours fucking straight? And then go out on the field and get yelled at for another hour and a half to go run and lift weights and push around some 300-pound bastard? No. Did your friend have to have 17 hours worth of classes every semester just to make sure that they graduated and they stay academically eligible to play? No. Does your friend have the fact that he was on scholarship thrown in his face all the time? No. Okay, past that point, you finish with school. Let's say, mind you, by the way, only one out of about, I think it's like 11,000 starting in high school get to a professional league. So while my friend is now graduated, is on the path of starting a family, myself to use myself as the example. When my friends were out there starting families and starting full-time jobs and careers, I'm still chasing the dream. While my friends are moving up the corporate ladder, getting great jobs and going through different things and experiencing life, I'm still chasing the dream, getting $200 there, working a part-time job so I can still go to practice. When my friends are now management at this company they've been in since they graduated college, I just now got into an AFL contract that's going to pay me decently. Oh, my friend just had his first and second kid and just got married. I haven't even met my wife yet because I'm too focused on football. My friend is now a CFO for this beautiful Fortune 500 company. I'm working at Foot Locker to support my dream. So the notion that athletes are gifted, and it's true, we are gifted, but it's a gift that we've earned. It's a gift that I have 10 fingers, and out of the 10 of them, you can look and see only one of them hasn't been broken. I got 3 broken ribs. I've had surgery on both knees. I've had surgery on one ankle. I have torn ligaments and muscles all over my body. I am 36 years old and I have arthritis. I've had concussions. I can't remember seasons of my life, but I'm supposed to shut up and dribble or shut up and tackle. It's misconstrued. I don't know if it's this president. I don't know if it's this way of thinking. I don't know what it is. But the fact that if you're thinking athletes don't earn every yard, every bucket, every home run, every sacrifice we've made, and I'm not saying we're making more sacrifices than most people because we're not. It's equal. But everything that I sacrifice is just as equal as this person who didn't get a scholarship who had to pay for school. Because what they're paying back for in student loans, I'm paying back in years off of my life. Because I still wake up mornings where I can't remember things. I still wake up where shit's swollen or like I'm in aching fucking pain and I cannot explain why. So I say all that to say the narrative has been misconstrued. Like I said, I don't know if it's the president. I don't know if it's the pandemic that's going on that's making people stupid. But it's not one way or the other. Like it's not. Sacrifices are made on both sides. And if an athlete, i.e. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, decides that they want to stand on a platform and stand for whatever they want to stand for, it's no different than a political activist doing the same thing. You use the platforms that you have. Me and James are using the platform that we have. We've had the conversations about social activism. We've had the social distancing conversations. We've had the pandemic conversations. It doesn't matter where you are in life. We all started out in the same place. We're all going to end in the same place. What you choose to do, how you choose to do it is on you. And one more thing, and I'll be quick. For everybody who says they're not watching NFL this year, why are the ratings up? Why is the gambling in Vegas up? But nobody's watching NFL because you people decided to take a stand. So, America, that's been my minute.
Well, yeah, and I'm not going to – normally I tag into your minutes, but whoever that is in your family, you didn't even really get into the whole juxtaposition of
Oh,
what it
no.
is to be a college athlete.
No.
And take it from somebody that lived all that. At least Chris got to see the promised land. I didn't meet my wife till I was 30 years old. Chris at least met his when he was 26.
Exactly.
And
Dude, there's so many of my friends who were married by the time they were 26. Like, I just met mine at that age. Like, it's...
You know, we talked about it in another episode, Chris, and that's why you're so upset about it. You know, so to say that we're spoiled, and we're not spoiled.
Far from it.
We're gifted, absolutely. It's like anybody in any other field. If you have the ability to do something better than anybody, you can program a computer better than anybody, they're going to pay you that. Bill Gates was gifted with his mind, led him to $41 billion. Steve Jobs was gifted, left him to however many billions. Steve Ballmer's gifted. He's so gifted, he owns a basketball team now. So at the end of the day, the whole narrative of whatever you have done to incite my best friend and say some dumb shit, understand something. We talked about in the show. Some people have gifts. Some people have the ability to get straight A's and just do that. And guess what? That pays for school too.
Exactly.
Some people have the ability to, do great, pipe work or plumbing. They go to a trade school and they're able to go to work at 19, 20, and they're the ones that are driving Camaros at 23. And they're the ones that are getting all the women. Not us over here figuring out what's going on with us in college and whatever, and saying you got the women. I'm like, oh, you ain't got no clue. Like, you don't think we don't know? Like, my wife would have been like, get the out of my face if she would have met me when I was a quote unquote spoiled, gifted athlete in high school and college. There's no way. Because we know the people that we have to be to even get to that point. It's like anybody in any other field, America. You have to be so selfish to get what you want in your dreams. And that's what you don't understand. You don't understand the sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to talk about sacrifice. Like, I'm not comparing anything to anybody. Okay? I have military in my family. Okay? Every male, I've said this in the show, I'll say it now to help Chris, and we can move on to getting the hell out of here. Every male on my mother's side, every single one, first cousins, served. I am the only one that did not serve in my family because I'm the only one that earned a scholarship through my gift. So think about that for a second.
And like I've said before, if that scholarship wouldn't have happened, I knew for a fact it was either going to be armed forces or working at the docks.
I was going into the military. That's because that's what I was told. You have two choices in this household. So don't think you don't know every athlete's story. You know what I'm saying? You know the LeBron James stories because he's won in a gazillion.
Legit.
To not only be that good, but to be who he is and what he's been able to become. Those guys, they call them generational talents for a reason. One of those comes a generation. And generations are usually 10 years. So LeBron's his guy. Kobe was before him. Before Kobe, it was Shaq. Before Shaq, it was Jordan. Before Jordan, it was Bird and Magic. You had two that came from similar backgrounds, just different parts of the Midwest. Like, you see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? These people are generational. So to sit here and to disrespect, and honestly, disrespect somebody like you that has multiple degrees, by the way. So if they were attacking you and don't even know you and you're related to them,
let me say this. Let me say this to close the show.
I'm the best guy to come at with that because I'm the dumbest smart person I know.
Let me say this to close the show. Two things. One, my wife says all the time, I wish I would have met you in college. No, you don't, because I wasn't good enough.
Arist, I hope you can hear me. If you can't hear me, Arist,
She'll hear it.
No.
Yeah. I wasn't good
No.
enough at that time. I was far from good enough at that time in college to have my wife now. Like, we would have been definitely divorced, and I would have been on child support like a motherfucker.
Or
So-
bitter enemies. Like, she just
Oh, yeah.
like, I hate this motherfucker. Like, that's
Yeah, that's a fact.
I know that. I tell her that all the time. I wish she could have seen me play, but she'd have been like, if you don't get the fuck out of my face.
Exactly.
All the time. She loves that shit because it's rain.
And then number 2, to be as spoiled as I am and to be spoiled I have 3 degrees. 3! Education was paid for by football because I'm 300 pounds and I could run faster and hit harder than a lot of kids my age at that time. But I made sure that my legs also made way from my head. So that's why with those gifts and that spoiledness, I got 3 degrees with it. So with all that being said, make sure that you tune in to Anchor FM to get with the What's Good America podcast. Make sure that you follow us at What's Good America. Check out the merch with Chic Workwear. Make sure you follow us on IG, Wayne's F Baby. Make sure you follow the podcast at What's Good America. This will be out tomorrow because I'm not tired. I'm a little tipsy, but I can edit this and get this out. So, with all that being said, to the family member who said what you said, it's pure ignorance. It is what it is. I'll confront you when I'm sober. We'll deal with that later. But to my best friend,
I hope they see the video before the confront, because they're like, you know what? I did some research. I'm sorry. I expect an apology to happen because it's like,
I don't.
Hey, family member, don't let them get me on speed dial. We didn't even touch to it. And this is a guy that was a 5-star. Come talk to a guy that played Division II, and I'll tell you what it's really like when you ain't even going to a nice school like Chris went to. I'm talking about being a full ride scholarship in the middle of nowhere on a shit program. Great people around you. Love my friends, love my teammates. Yeah, come talk to me about how that is and what they expect out of you. Oh, and your school happens to be the #1 academic school in the Midwest. Yeah. Tell me about. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Chris.
So with all that being said, follow us on IG, Wayne's F Baby. Follow us on IG with What's Good America. Check out the merch, Chic Workwear. It's on IG as well. There's the Facebook page, What's Good America. You can follow us on that too.
Man.
It's a topic. If it's a topic you want to hear, hit us up. At me if you got a problem with it. I'm in the mood for that shit tonight. So, with all that being said, Screwball, we still love you. We still love the sponsor, baby.
Hey, Screwball, can you at us, sponsor us? Hey, Screwball, this is the part I hope Chris can find a way to edit and send it to you. We love you, and we would love to be the one that's putting you on every 10 minutes. And we'll actually take editing direction so you don't feel ashamed about the things we say. Because if you could get me from I love my job, but I would love to just sit here and talk to this dude all the time. We ain't looking for Joe Rogan money. We just looking for the money that our wives will just allow us to, all right, that's good.
Yeah, that's it.
And we will talk about your glory and your praise. Matter of fact, I'm buying at least 35 of these for my wedding. So on my own, I'm in charge of the DJ and the alcohol. So you will be all over my wedding, Screwball.
You should probably get DJ Dub, honestly, because Dub will probably be in town. He could probably do it.
Well,
anyway.
I actually have my DJ, and I'm going to shout him out right here. To me, one of the GOAT DJs of our time there, DJ Benefit.
I like it.
Because, you know what I'm saying, like, I need somebody that can spin it. Like, look here, I know y'all going to be, Chris, I know y'all going to be ready to, hey, listen, after we eat this food, I'm going to need some mix because, hey, it's a Cali Pomeroy party. I know we're going to get out here. Y'all going to be out there. I'm going to have that pop, lock, and drop it going. I'm going to be putting songs.
God.
Me and Nate going to work on this. Hey, we're going to have these songs so pop, like, y'all ain't going to have no choice. Y'all going to be sweating y'all asses off.
With all that being said, this has been episode 30-something of What's Good America. It will be out on my wife's birthday, 9/22. So if you see her,
Happy
you
birthday,
add her.
Aris.
Happy birthday, the better half of me. And like we always say, what's good, America?
What's good, America?